Oh, by the way, guys, anything interesting that happened? Well, no, I mean it's fine, but people like me live in reality. You know that about people and things. But I was thinking like I wouldn't. I was like, sort of like looking. I looked at this in my notebook, but this actually refers to our thing. I just want you to know that I'm aware of such things. You know, one of the things I've said the whole time of this thing that's going on is I said, well, look, although I don't know what's going on in like the deep sense of what's going on, no, but I mean one of the things that's going on is that all kinds of people, politicians, know about your thing and know about social media people. And then I've often said, like, more angrily on the Facebook, like, wait, why is, such and such, congressman or whatever, like, he doing something like, does he perceive he's playing in a game or, like, I'm not sure, people like me don't assume that, like, people aren't just, like, know about your thing, like, picking up on something that's, like, they're doing something like unserious and some people are doing something dead serious and then they're just kind of like, oh, there's a game, or something. I mean, like I don't trust that like they're all, that everyone's doing one thing when it comes to like, the massive, political and media people like know about your thing. But there was something I looked at my notes and I said, well, why? I was taking notes on it. That does refer to our thing, but you should just be aware that people like me are aware of this kind of thing. There's a senator called it's funny that his name is Flake. Okay, and all these congressmen and senators. See, I didn't. When it comes to something like this, I actually trust believe it or not, I trust the media. Implicitly compared to how I would trust, like, the people who are in our Congress, to the extent that they're like, like trying to tell social media people something. There's a senator called Flake who sits on the Foreign Relations Committee, and he he asked the question to John Kerry. That it's an academic question that he asked. It's like it's a liberal academic question. You know what I mean? It is, and the thing is, like, right? I thought like, but the thing is, like, I looked him up. He's doing something, but I looked him up. He doesn't look like a particularly serious person. I never heard of him or anything. And he asked a liberal academic question. It's like a question a liberal academic would ask their class. And if you live in objective reality, you know the answer. I mean, he may have meant, you would picture he meant a bunch of things, and you know the answer. But it's like something a liberal academic would like. It's a liberal academic question. Is what it is. It's not. It doesn't like really. It's not a grown-up question. I mean, it isn't. But what's interesting is he's sort of like there's something he did that indicates. I mean, I'm not in. I mean, I take for granted. These kind of people that are in our Senate and stuff, they may all be they take advantage of the fact that you've got social media people who don't know, like, wouldn't know anyway, but something like that, but don't know what's going on a lot of the time, but you got info on them and people are doing things and they're signaling to each other. But he asked a liberal academic question. But what's interesting is, I thought he was, but he did something that, like, well, I'm not gonna bring it up, but people like me are aware of the fact that, like, the sort of scumbags and stuff in our Congress and stuff, like, don't necessarily, they're not, like, necessarily, like I said, I've compared to, like, how I feel about the media, right? Like, sort of like, your media's in your thing. No, I trust implicitly, like, if they're trying to tell social media people something, it's not like, it's run by producers and owners and things come down to a sort of like, I mean, like I said, like, I mean, they're not going to be like doing a bunch of things like on their own to like signal social media people for their own weird reason, like their own personal reason. No, I mean, if something like looks like it's meant for social media people or something, it's basically serious. Remember, there's a senator called Flake, like, who may think he's playing in a game, who asked an academic question, but there was also like some indication he knows social media people are like watching. And I'm just aware of the fact that he may, or I mean, to the extent that that's what happened, that he's he's an unserious, flaky guy who asked a liberal academic question, but like sort of there was something about the situation that indicated like he may want like their social media people watch the hearings or something to perceive he's very like doing very important, he's saying something very important and like it has like deep meaning or something, or something like that. That's what it looked like. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but that made me think that. But and by the way, it happened. Things like that happen. Could happen accidentally too. I mean, there's a with this color thing you've done, someone could come out and like, say something on TV and they're like wearing a, red or a blue tie or something, and it's like, someone could misperceive that everything like that has meaning, like deep meaning in like a game. They could have happened by accident, You know what I mean? Like, they may just be wearing a colored tie. It has nothing to do with, like, signaling social media people. But this guy, like, there was something like that going on that, you, up, 50-50 chance it has something, that's, like, meant it to be a silent communication to social media people. But what he asked was a liberal academic question. And, that's the kind of thing, an unknown, like, as far as I never heard him before, like some liberal guy, who, like, like congressman, and people in his office are like, let's, make social media people, like, who watch this, like, think this, I'm saying something really important, so we can, make them think a liberal academic question about something like this serious is important. Like, for but I mean, I just wanted you to know I'm aware of like the fact that not when I said I don't know what's going on. I mean, no, but I mean if something's on these things done by the media, you're trying to tell like social media people something's different. But no, I just want to tell you about this guy. I never heard of him before, but that's what it looked like to me. He wanted to make if social media people are watching, he wanted to make them perceive that a liberal academic question was like very important. That's what I perceived. I'm just telling you, I'm aware that those things like are going to go on when you spread, your whole thing so big. That's what I think. You know what I mean? I just want you to be aware that I know that. And you know what I mean? It's not unlike what I said, where I said, I know, the people, very serious older people, guys in their 50s and stuff that, like, are, like, producing shows and running media and something, and, some, like, like, the weather girl's wearing a weird hat that's not, like, she made, that doesn't, that came from, someone else, that's not, the weather girl, you know what I mean? Like that's not where that's coming from, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who that guy is, but I mean, I that was the sense I had watching the hearing. Like he sort of like wanted to make. I really did, but I mean, maybe it's a coincidence, but what happened? But I mean, it may I think he. That's who's in our Congress. People who take advantage of your thing, and all the amount of like sharing of like weird things about your thing. I mean, your thing isn't a secret, so like I don't know, some scumbag like liberal senator might like think like they'd make social media people think a liberal academic question is very important. So I just want you to know that I'm aware of those kind of things. But it still doesn't mean I'm going to be doing anything on this. I take notes on things. But because that had to do with that's related to our thing, I just want you to know that. I don't know that I'm going to be doing any of this, or that watching that and taking notes on it is something I'm going to get involved in. I mean, I do that anyway. But I wanted to mention that. Flake. Who is that guy? No, I'm kidding. But I'm not kidding at all, actually. I'm not kidding at all, but I'm saying it lightly because I don't want to, be angry about it. The fact that I just want to tell you I'm aware people could do that.